Good evening. Welcome to Touch of Grey Matter. I'm your host, Dave Sokolowski. I'm here with Thomas Patrice, Barry 3D Carter, and a very special guest, Mr. Stuart Asselstine.
Hello there.
And the thing that I love about this, it's fucking even finally. Two black guys, two white guys. This
We're going to say what?
Game on, motherfuckers.
I've been waiting months for this shit.
Fucking Infinity Wars.
I'm no longer just sitting there. Yeah, okay, well, I'll be quiet about this because obviously I'm not fucking arguing.
I've been thinking about, when I go on stage again to do stand up, how do I introduce myself? And I kind of feel like saying, hi, my name is Stu Asselstine. I'm a 40-year-old heterosexual white Caucasian male. Therefore, I'm probably the most hated individual on the planet. I understand some of you are going to leave right now.
Fucking white privilege.
On behalf of everyone like me, I'm super fucking sorry. If it's any consolation, I donated a kidney. I'm one of the good guys.
Someone's gonna be in the back underground messing with your set. Just go white power. Like, no.
No, but when you say you donated a kidney, somebody's going to go, did you donate it to a black fella? Are you helping the cows?
Well, here's a cool thing. I saw many years ago. I was on the bus in Kingston, and they had an organ donation poster up that ran along the inside of the bus, and it was so cool. It was like a heart and a kidney, lungs, all sort of laid out on the table, and underneath it said, pick the black one, pick the white one, pick the Jewish one, pick the Chinese one, right? It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all have the same parts. We're all built from the same stuff. And
I'm gonna call bullshit on that because I've seen what the outside of my body looks like. I can just imagine the shit I've done to the inside.
You have the metabolism of a fucking city pigeon. So
I have the exercise
to crush you.
Let me tell you, we all are the same unless you were born close to Chernobyl.
Yeah, in which case you shut the lights off, you still glow.
Why is my hand coming out of my head?
Exactly.
I'll get that for you.
In which case, the bus goes by and it says, pick the black one. Don't pick the black one. Pick the glowing one. Okay, no, don't pick the glowing one. Pick the one that works. Okay, we don't know. It was crazy time. We blew something.
The cool thing about like my story was that my recipient is my wife's cousin's husband. Okay, so we're not related. We're not blood related. We are family, and we're close. And he's like the sweetest, most soft-spoken guy you'll ever meet. And when we heard that he was suffering from kidney disease, I asked him just, what's your blood type? And he said, I'm an A or whatever. And I said, okay, so am I. So I'm like, let's do this, right? Because you see it in Hollywood, right? Well, what's this man's blood type? Well, let's just fucking cut him open and get it done, right? Like, bam, just lift the hood and get her done. And I was like, so, okay. And so we started the process, the paperwork and all of that to go through. We found out about it in February. We started in earnest in like March of 2019. And from March to July, we went from let's see what we can do to we're a match. Here's your surgery date for September. And then September 19th of 2019, that was the day. And I honestly believe, what are the odds that A, we live just down the street,
Right.
from each other, be that first hit, first match, first try. You know what I mean? It's all about the positive thinking that we carry, right, to help manifest it.
Absolutely.
And it worked when we went in on surgery day. I'd never had a surgery ever, right? Ever. Like, go big or go home, right?
You never had a surgery before, and this is the one you go in as organ donor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
See, you're lucky you're not in New York.
If you're gonna start, like, go big, right? Like, none of this, like,
no,
I have a hernia shit.
Yeah.
Just fucking take my kidney. If he was really macho, he would have given him a fucking lung too.
Well, it was a Monday.
He doesn't want my lungs. And he certainly doesn't want my liver. No way.
If it happened in New York, this would have had a whole different feel to it, Stu. It would have had that whole music starting. It would have been dun 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 dun, and it's like, what happened? Well, we found this man here in the bathtub, and he's missing a kidney. This could have gone a totally different way. So I'm glad. Thank you. We live in Canada.
Me too.
Yeah, it goes a lot better. So your first surgery, you walk in there, and this is the first thing you ever done. So you never had a broken bone?
Never. No, I had a wisdom tooth taken out once, and that was it.
So
right?
wisdom tooth to giving a kidney. You really want to just give away body parts, right?
It's a spare part. It's the one thing. It's the one thing God got right is he gave us 2 kidneys when we can fully function with one. And I'm blessed and lucky enough that I was healthy. I went through all the testing,
right?
And it's extensive testing. Like, they give you a ton of blood, like they take a ton of blood. You're a human pincushion, but it's painless. Like, the process is painless. And the Ottawa hospital, Riverside in general, I gotta say, those guys are absolute rock stars. Every single one of them, total rock stars. And so the Riverside team, the 2 teams, they don't really talk to each other until it's like game day, more or less. You know what I mean? Like, they have their separate camps. There's the donor camp and the recipient camp. And so but certain closer to the dates, we started to team up our appointments.
Okay.
And so we'd have like little competitions as to who gave more blood in one shot, right? Like, so he's in behind one curtain, I'm behind another, and I'm like, I'm at 8 vials, and he's like, I'm at 5. I'm like, I'm good. I'm still going.
Lightweight. And sir, you passed out. Keep going.
It's like, it's all right, man. This is competition game day, bitch.
I get a cookie, right?
Yeah. They're like, at one point, they're like, Stu, your blood type's changed. You're now 11 herbs and spices. What the fuck happened? Gnawing on a chicken bone. Hey.
Need the protein.
More gravy.
Your blood is gravy.
But no, it was great. The surgery day, you go in super early and do all the prep work and stuff, and an orderly set you up, and you're all plugged in and good to go, and they wheel you down the hall to the operating room, and there was nobody there in the hall, but the orderly doesn't wheel you into the operating room. He just brings you to the operating room door,
right,
bangs on the door, and then takes off, and you're just laying there, and then 1 or 2 people come up and they start interviewing you and asking you the same questions, just to dot the I's and cross the T's, make sure everything's good.
Are you sure?
Are you really sure?
Are you sure? How close are you to him? Does he owe you money?
I've studied under this doctor. He's a bit of a drinker. It's nothing like that. You got him on a good day.
Out here in the hallway, I've decided that maybe no, I don't think I'm going to.
Exactly. See, right.
Stu, you're better
He's
man
already
than me.
open. Well, okay, fine.
You're a better man than me, because I know if I'm there and they couldn't interview me. I'd have to interview them. First of all, it's like, did the doctor have a good day? You know, did him and his wife get into a fight the night before? Is he a little bit pissed off? Did his kids piss him off?
Well,
Did he play? Did anything disturb the man? Did anything, unfeng shui his feng shui
Have
this
you ever
morning?
heard the doctor say Black Lives Matter?
No. Stu, the one guy you got to worry about is the anesthesiologist. If he's looking at you going, you're going to like what we do to you.
Okay, so of course, before the surgery, you meet the surgeon, of course, and you meet the anesthesiologist, and they go over stuff. And the first time I sat down with the anesthesiologist, okay, I'm a complete novice, I'm a complete tool, but I'm thinking, pain management after all of this. I was a little worried about, how heavy the pain meds were going to be, and I did not want to go off the rails and be 100% Keith Richards by the end of all of this.
Nobody is Keith Richards.
No,
not even Keith Richards. It's just a corpse.
Hey man, whatever's flowing through his veins right now is kicking the holy shit out of coronavirus. He's made coronavirus his bitch, but whole other story. But I was a little bit worried about the addiction stuff, right? So I said, I can't believe now that I actually said this, but I looked at him, I was like, has there been any studies done on medicinal weed for treatment for pain and stuff? What are the odds of, maybe medicinal weed? And the anesthesiologist, he kind of looked at me and he was like, you're funny. He's like, you're not, he goes, trust me, you're going to want what we give you. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm like, the more I think about it, it's like, wow, they cut me open, man. I'm not going to feel anything. So,
Well, that's what it comes down to, is when they start thinking, right? It's like, once again, happy to be in Canada, because if we were in the States, it'd be like, well, what does your drug plan cover? Well, your drug plan either covers medicinal weed. We're sorry. Oh, your drug plan is worse than the weed drug plan. What do you mean? Here's 2 popsicle sticks, bite down, and we'll send you more every day.
Here's a bag of frozen peas. Just put that over.
Drug plan cover. What does the drug plan cover? An egg.
Yeah.
Somewhere up here we got a chicken.
Here's a bag of frozen peas. Just
we got
Here's a scrap and a Tylenol. Have fun.
Oh no. You know what I love about operations? But I had the operation on my knee. No, that's scary. If you're fucking going in that room and you're hearing the doctor go, hit the side. I don't want to be in here. That's not what you want. But no, the funniest thing is when they gave me Oxycontin, and I didn't know it was Oxycontin, so here I am popping. I'm like, it's like Tylenol, pop 2. I'm good. Woke up high as shit. I'm like, you know what? I better comb my hair. I better, because today's gonna be the day. Hey, honey, hey! My wife was like, how many things did you take? I just took 2. Just 2. I'm good though.
I honestly, I couldn't stand them. Because they gave me the same thing when I had a hernia maybe 8 years ago. And they gave me the pills afterwards, and they're like, here, just take one when you feel pain. And I'm like, I can't even fucking walk.
I was grateful for what they gave me, and they give it to you on like a pain pump, right? So you every 7 minutes or whatever, you can hit it and get a fresh dose. But you could sit there and bang out Morse code, but you'd only get the one hit, And then 7 minutes later, it's like, come to Papa, right? But I met the surgeon about 2 weeks before surgery. Super amazing guy, and his team, Dr. Warren's his name, absolutely amazing. And like I was saying, the Ottawa Riverside Hospital and Ottawa General Hospital, their teams are just top notch. Every single one of them, from the janitor to the head of staff, is a friggin' rock star. I got nothing but great things to say. The way they treated everybody and people that are still going through it, just amazing. And Dr. Warren is, super chill, comes in, he's got his scrubs and his Crocs on, he hops up on the little couch thingy there. And he's like, yeah, okay, so we're, basically gonna, do a left side nephrectomy, and we're gonna, take that out there. And he's just describing like he'd changed the filter in your car, right? I'm just kind of like, okay, you seem like you know what you're doing. And at the end of it all, at the end of it all, he goes, do you have any questions? And I said, no. I said, I'm confident that you guys are going to kick ass and everything's going to be great. And he goes, why would you say that?
You never really want the doctor sitting there going, we're doing a...
It was like, kidney.
Whoops, no, kidney.
Kidney?
Fuck, wrong book.
Don't worry, nurse. Third time's the charm.
And of course,
even better. Even better if the guy sits on the bed. If the guy sits on the bed and says, "So, what kind of drugs you got? Let's see. You got some codeine. You got some. Are you a doctor? No.
What do you say?
Work here?
Yeah. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna remove your kidney, and I mean, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't believe they're fucking letting me try this again. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Fucking incredible, really.
Exactly.
God love OHIP.
Yeah, exactly. Those bastards don't own nothing. My lawyer was so good. Yeah. No.
Woo! My test was multiple choice. How was yours?
Yeah, things not to say, right?
Did you know that the kidney and the liver look almost identical?
Fabulous. So at the end of it, at the end of the interview, everything was great, and so on surgery day.
I'm sorry. I just thought of this. You're doing your interview, and the guy says, "So you are ready for your complete sex change?"
Excuse me.
Check the chart. Check the chart.
Yeah, I'm like, you gotta scope me where with what now? No, it was, and they do a psych. You also do like a psych profile. My wife was like, "This is where you're gonna lose." Right? I'm like, that'll be fine. But
it's always going. Your wife's like, black.
Yeah. No,
he shows you the pool boy standing beside it, going, "Yeah, we'll be good if you die."
It's okay, sweetie.
Have you got his card?
No, we sat down and of course they got to contemplate like the ifs, right? Like suppose everything goes fine and it doesn't work out. Are you prepared for that? And how are you going to deal with it? And the first and only time I ever quoted Wayne Gretzky, I said, "You miss 100% of the shots you never take," right? So we know what happens if nothing's done, right? Dialysis and, a lifetime of being plugged in, having your blood cleaned, and then eventual, end, and it's a horrible thing. So we know what happens if we do nothing. But if we do something, if we do this, then he's got a full shot, and it's a total game changer for him. And let's do that. Let's see where that goes. I'm on the side of that. And I was like, yeah, man. I came out of there thinking, total rock star. This is great. And on surgery day, when I went in, they don't wheel you in. If you want, you can walk in under your own power. So I did. I walked in and I met the team, and it was like, team, right? Because on transplant days, like transplant days for medical staff, like that's rock star day. That's like, everybody wants to be a part of that, right? And they're a really cool, tight knit group. And so Dr. Warren's there, and they're prepping me, for the anesthetic and stuff. And I'm getting on the table, and he says, "I got to talk about you like you're not in the room for a minute." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, whatever."
Usually we're married.
So he does his thing. And at the end of it, he's like, "Do you have any questions or concerns or anything?" And I said, "No." I said, "Every single person in this room is a rock star, and we're going to do a really good thing today. I only have one thing to ask. And he said, what's that? And I said, I need you to count everything on that tray. And before you sew me up, count again and make sure the number's the same. And he goes, you don't want any sponges to take home? And I said, no, man, I'm good, baby. I'm good. Right.
Well, that's when you meet the team, right? It's like, so you're the doctor, correct? Anesthesiologist, correct? You're the nurse, yeah. Okay, you're the backup doctor, got it. You're the one running the machine and the beep, beep, beep. Yeah, okay. So who's that guy? Oh, Bob? He's a pizza guy. What the fuck is a pizza guy doing here? Oh, he's the one taking the heart, your kidney over to the patient because he knows the fastest routes. He might drop off a pizza on the way.
30 minutes.
He doesn't get the coolers mixed up.
Yeah.
30 minutes is free, exactly.
Yeah.
Canadian Medicare.
Aren't you glad you didn't hear this one voice though? Hey everybody, it's Dr. Dick.
Yeah, that was like, oh shit, here we go. And they put the thing on, and they said, you know, we're going to take really good care of you. I remember the anesthesiologist. She leaned over. She said, we're going to take really good care of you. And I looked up and I said, I know. And then it was like lights out. And then we're back, and they're wheeling me down the hall. And I was like, I could see the lights, right? And
oh God, they made a slip.
and then a face comes over, and it's the head anesthesiologist, and he's like, Stuart, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And I said, yeah. He goes, you're coming out of surgery, and we're taking you to recovery now. And I was like, how did it go? Everything went perfect. Everything went great. And I was like, okay, cool. You got to stop. And they're like 5 people wheeling me. They slam on the brakes. And I'm like, you need to give me a high five right now. And he was like, what? I'm like, you need to give me a high five right now. And he was like, okay. And so we're like high fiving. And then they wheeled me past the waiting area right for family, and my wife came out. I said hi, and then he wheeled me off into recovery, and that's when I realized just how crazy ass high I was. And oh man, it was awesome. It was bliss wrapped up in awesome,
right?
Just engulfed in sweet. And they had me in this massage pump thing that it's like a massage thing that goes up your leg and then down the other leg and then up the leg and down the other leg to prevent blood clotting, right? So think of it like the world's most comfortable lazy boy, but just hugging the shit out of your legs while you're super, super high. And I was just like, and so there's a nurse that, and you're sitting.
Get the dog off my leg.
I was just like, dog off my leg. I was like, this is so amazing. This is the best. And there's a nurse that comes to check on everybody because everybody's coming out of different surgeries. And I'm like, hey, what are you in for? And and
broken arm. I gave a kidney. Fuck you. I'm number 1.
The lady comes by and she's checking on me, and I said, hey, how come you can't go to like a Leon's and buy one of these? Like, we need these in every house. Like, it was.
Have you ever had anybody try to stick their dick into this? Like, I'm just wondering, like, how close the massage gets. Like,
and she's like, yes, Tuesday. It happened Tuesday.
Because I'm thinking, I've had flashlights, and these
more
are
for you. It was
Stu, so glad you made it through, brother. You are freaking courageous, and just to do it like Barry said, kudos to you, man. Kudos to you.
Thank you. I just, for me personally though, it was the human thing to do. I felt like if the situation was reversed, hopefully somebody would be able to come along and help me out in the same way. And it's surprisingly easy to register to be a donor. it's harder as a living donor, right? Because of the matches and stuff. But just to go to like I'm going to be doing a PSA right now, but just go to beadonor.ca and fill out that information. That registers you to be a donor across the country. So if you get in an accident in like Alberta, their laws might be a little different than Ontario's. But if you're registered in a national registry, your wishes will be met. And one donor can save the lives or change the lives of up to 8 people with organs and tissue and blood and everything else out there. And right now, our system is an opt-in. We have an opt-in system where we have to pool and pull people to become donors and fill out their cards and all of that. But other countries have an opt-out system.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when you pass, when you die, there are other countries that it's assumed that your organs are going to be donated unless otherwise stated, unless you decide to opt out, which you can, right? At any time, you can make that. And now that is in my opinion, a far better system, because then the onus isn't on you to get in. The onus is on you. If you don't want to be an organ donor, then you just simply opt out of it. Right.
See, that's great. Now, I was still going to say this, though. One person that needs to opt out of that for the benefit of everybody else is Keith Richards. Keith Richards should not be donating anything to nobody.
I actually disagree. I actually disagree.
Who put this French fry in the kidney tray? Who put the French? Oh, this is Keith Richards. Oh, sorry. We'll keep it.
I disagree. I think that Keith Richards should be studied to hell and back because his metabolism, there's something in there. Like I used to do a joke about this. I said, I never got the flu shot because Keith Richards is still alive. And until there's a bug that knocks him out, I'll be okay. And then I said, if there's a bug that knocks out Keith Richards, then I'll take a shot, probably of whiskey or pink thinner or something, right? That he's got. I watched a documentary on Keith on Netflix, and if you've never watched anything around him, you really should, because he's one interesting guy, really smart, super chill, and music flows through him like the blood in your veins, man. Like he's just, a really extraordinary individual. And the persona around Keith Richards, like the image that has been generated about this guy, the legend of the Keith Richards that everybody wants to believe, that always has the drink and the smoke and stuff.
Right.
He's so much more than that. But I think there's something in his DNA that is kicking the shit out of everything. Like, and him and Betty White.
He definitely needs to be donated to science after he's gone.
And then the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Right? Like,
guys, Keith Richards died in the 1970s. His body just doesn't know it yet. Okay?
He's a cyborg.
Look, he's the calmest person. Have you ever seen an interview with Keith Richards? Keith, how did you feel? What motivated you to play? Because
he's got that gravelly thing. It's just like, man, I was sitting there jamming with the boys, and I was like, fuck, that's a really great song. We should fucking do that. Who wrote that song? And Mick leans over and says, we wrote it 5 years ago. And I'm like, fuck off, man. That's brilliant. Like, love the guy. Ozzy is another one. Ozzy's another guy that they got to look at. Because Ozzy's
on the cusp of that's incredible, okay? Because the amount of drugs that this man has taken, like, I'm sure there's a bunch of scientists, every time he takes a dump in the diaper, they probably pull it down and go, it's Steady this. It could cure cancer. Go again.
Exactly. There's something in Ozzy's poop.
Scary. Okay.
You know?
No.
Dave, you're awfully quiet.
You know who scares me? The one guy who scares me the most. Mick Jagger, man. Mick Jagger. Mick. He's got the mouth of a frog and a salamander and the tongue of a snake. And the way he dances, he's the guy he's scary because Mick is still stuck in 1967 on the Ed Sullivan Show after James Brown. He never left that show.
I believe I saw footage of Mick working out, like doing his dance routines and stuff. This guy will go 4 hours straight, just rocking out, working on all the moves for every song that they're going to play live, and he doesn't stop. And I don't know, how old is Mick now? Like
143.
Right? Moses was his tour manager the first time around, right? Like, and you gotta hand it to these guys, because some people would say the Stones just got to pack it in. They got to kill it, right? You know, they got to say enough's enough and we're going to stop. But I'm old school rock and roll, and I love the idea that a band is going to stay a band until the band decides mutually that that's it. We can ride off into the sunset. And for them, it's the longest ride. There are only, maybe 3-4 bands on the entire planet that have that kind of longevity. Yep. Right? You got the Stones, ZZ Top, fucking 50 plus years for ZZ Top.
Yeah, man. I saw the documentary.
Yeah, and that was a kick-ass doc. Kick-ass. I had no idea that they were that friggin' cool. And listening to the Foos talk about them, Jesus, yeah. It was so cool. Like, my favorite quote in that whole doc was when the drummer for the Foo Fighters, he's like, you don't put that Ferrari in the garage, man. You got to take that out for a ride. You can't just park it and leave it.
Absolutely.
You got to roll, you know. There's some.
But on that note too, though, I mean, like, as far as the Rolling Stones go, they're all what, in their 90s now, like 80s or 90s.
Yeah, like Charlie Watts is totally up there. The drummer's totally up there.
So, like, I really don't need to see my great grandfather talking about I can't get no satisfaction. You fucking shouldn't be, to be honest with you. You should be lying the fuck down. Put on a cardigan, shut the fuck up, and watch Coronation Street.
But Dave, though, rumor has it that the dildo was modeled after Mick Jagger, because all that gyrating stuff, women just kind of liked it.
What?
I'm joking. I'm just being an ass.
Okay, all right. I'm like, what?
I'm like, wow,
you ass website are you watching? Where are you getting that data? Because holy Christ,
man.
Before we go completely off fucking topic here.
We went from kidney transplants to Mick Jagger to
yes,
dildos on the dark web. Hey, wait, that was a punk rock record, wasn't it? Dildos on the dark web. It's a great.
If it isn't, it will be.
I think it was the Dead Kennedys. Thank you guys for watching. This is awesome. Thank you very much for watching A Touch of Grey Matter. I'm your host, Dave Sokolowski, with Thomas Patrice, Barry 3D Carter, and Stuart Asselstine. Like I've always said, I mean, like, if you've watched all of our shows, you know, at the end of it, I always say, like, there's a lot of good people out in the world, and if you can't find one, be one. But 100%. I mean, like, after listening to Stu's story, man, there's a lot of good people out in this world, and if you can't find one, fucking be like Stu. Seriously. All right. Yes. Thank you very much. Have a good night, folks.
Thank you. I got nothing but love for all of you, and please be a donor, and be awesome to each other. The world needs more love, man. More love.
Cheers.
Cheers.